Okay, we're recording. Okay, now this segment is on lighting. We're going to add 5 lights to this scene. Lighting is one of the, if not, well, the most important thing to making a scene look good. It can be very complicated at times. So whenever your scene doesn't look right, sometimes it's not your materials, but sometimes it's your lighting that's just not right, and you need to readjust it. Since this is going to be the only source of light, and Blender's internal render engine does not do caustics, and it doesn't do um, um, global illumination without faking it. We're going to have to fake it. So to start off, what we're going to do is now the new Cycles engine, by the way, it does do all those things, and it is very good at it. But it needs some improvement yet before I'm thinking about doing a tutorial on it. But with regards to this, the first light we're going to set up is an area lamp. In fact, they're all going to be area lamps. So if we push Shift and A, and we go down to lamp and pick area. And one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make this the glass invisible so we can see it. And the area lamp is just about where we want it. It's rotated the wrong direction, so we're going to rotate it upright. So let's push 1 on the numpad for front view, R to rotate, and 180 degrees. Punch that in on the keypad and hit enter. And now it is facing directly up. And now the distance we need to adjust. It doesn't need to be that high. Now let's just adjust it down until the lines up about right. Somewhere in there. I would say maybe just where it's to the top of that or so. Maybe a little less. And we'll leave the value at 1 for now. Let's see. And on this one, we're going to leave the color white. We're going to do ray shadow. And that's it for that. And then we're going to drop this down just below here. So, oh, okay. It's about right. It's about the right size too. Okay, that's the first light we're setting up. Now, I also want to delete this sun lamp because we want it dark, so we take that lamp out of it. And global illumination, the environment lighting. If we go over here to the world settings, and we're not going to turn it off, but we're going to turn it way down to 0.020, I think. Trying to remember what I had it set. I have an 040. That's what I had it set before. Okay. Now we can turn our lamp or our glass back on. Let's do a quick render just to see how that looks. And since it's inside the glass, it's illuminating the glass, and we're getting that that glow look like you get with a lava lamp. And since we've already tinted the glass a purple color, the glass is glowing the right color as well. We could have just changed the color of the lamp, but we don't want to do that because when we put the lava inside, we don't want the lamp to affect the color of the lava. So we leave it a white light. And that's looking pretty good. And as you can see, it's not really lighting up the environment too much. And that's why we have to fake the indirect lighting. Because really the glass should be illuminating the rest of the room, but it's not, so we have to fake it. And you can see some of the reflections from in here from our that we put on in our materials, and it just adds a little more realism to it in different ways. Okay, I think that's good enough for now. We get the point. Okay, now I turned the glass back on so we can know where to set up the rest of our lamps. So the next lamp we're going to put is we're going to put it right here, and then we're going to put a lamp right here, and then we're going to put a lamp in front of this and one behind it. So let's put another area lamp, Shift A, lamp, area, and it's pointing down. We want to rotate it 90 degrees, 90, and there it is, facing the right way. Now what we want to do is, let's see. We're going to leave the distance on this. Let me bring that up. We're going to leave the energy at level 1, the distance at 25, and we're going to change color. And the color I had set was, what did I set for this? I set it at, I've got it wrote down here. Oh, there it is, FF8. So FF8, and then D8A. Okay. So it's sort of a reddish color. I didn't want to make it exactly the same color as the glass because it's going to be reflecting off the wall, and you want to take in other environment possibilities. That suppose that there's other things in the environment that would kind of change the tint. And then one thing we're going to do here, this one, is we're going to change the shape of the lamp. So we're going to size it up on the Z axis, like so, and then just move it up a little. Okay, and then go back to front view, and now all we got to do is duplicate it. So we'll duplicate it 3 times, or well, 4 times altogether. So Shift and D, and then if we hit X, it'll follow on that axis there, and it won't change. So we just set this on the other side of the glass, like so. And now we have to flip the direction 180 degrees. So rotate R and 180 on the keypad and enter. Okay, and now let's go to top view. Put numpad 7 for top view, and we'll duplicate it one more time. But before I do that, I want to see which direction I'm pointing here. See, the camera's back this way, and that is the wall. So let's go to top view again, 7. And now we can Shift D, duplicate, and then hit Y to bring it out about here, and then rotate, and then 90 degrees, and move it over here. And put it right in front of the glass. We don't want it behind the glass. We've already got a light illuminating behind the glass. Let's move this one forward a little bit too. Okay, now, and we'll just Shift D, duplicate this one, and hit our Y button, and bring it back this way. Put it right about there. Rotate 90. No, not 90. 180. If I right click, it undoes what I just did. So just R for rotate and then 180. Okay. And now we're all set. Now we want to change the energy value of this one, or the let's see, what do I want to change? In fact, I want to change the energy value of all of them. They're all way too high. I should have done that first. This one here, though, since it's facing the wall, we want to change this one to a slightly higher value than all the rest. So we're going to put this one at a 0.020. So 0.020. So it's actually very weak. They're all going to be very weak. And then this one is going to be 0.005. And so are the other two. Oh, I did that wrong. What I want to do is, here's a trick to do that. To make these all the same, you only have to change one. So let's change the energy value again, 0.005. And then what we want to do is select the other two by shift selecting this one, and then make this one that you changed, whatever one you want them all to match, make that the last one you select. So, and then just press Control L, and then go Object Data, and now they're all should be set at energy level 0.005, and they're all set at the same color, and yeah, they all match. One thing too, though, is we want to put ray shadow on all of them as well. So I think it was just a, oh, they're all going to match because I made them all the same. Okay, there we go. So now if you change anything on any one of these, all three of these will change with it, any of this data over here. Now this one will not, because I didn't link this one with the same material or object data. Okay, so this is pretty much the setup for the lighting. let's just render this real quick to see how this looks. And it's going to look brighter than the final output because we're going to do some compositing in the end, and it's going to we'll darken it down some. And in fact, I think in my final render of the video that you've seen for the intro of this tutorial, I made it a little too dark. I think I should have lightened it up just a bit. And I also forgot to add one other element, and that is glow streaks. And that I'm going to add those in this tutorial here, even though I didn't do that in my first render. Okay, here is the final render. And as you can see, there's a couple things I noticed here. One thing, I didn't put the plane, or the light needs to be sitting on the plane. It's floating in air. And then second, I need to increase the distance here of this light on the inside, because you can see that the fall off is right here, and it's just a little too soon, so we need to expand that a little more, make that go up. And then when we do our compositing, we'll darken the rest of this, the wall outside, and give it a vignette, and a couple other compositing features. So let's go ahead and adjust that floor and the lighting right now. So press F11 to get out of that screen, and let's just back up here a bit. It's probably easier. I mean, there's a couple things I can do. I can either select everything here and move it down, or I can just select the floor and raise it up. So I'm just going to select the floor and raise it up. And I'll just raise it up till it goes past it, drop it down to right about there. And it's all right if they stick through the floor just a little bit. That means that you know it's not going to be floating. It's better safe than sorry. Okay, that looks pretty good right there. Leave it just like that. Now, go ahead and hit Control S and save. And now let's adjust the inside area light, which would be the first area light. And to do that, we will let's take the glass off again and see the line. Okay. And let's just raise the distance up. There. Now it's sticking above it. So we can make it to where it's just right at the top of that or so. Okay. Let's see how that does. Now, one other thing we need to do is we need to set up what's called light groups. Well, let me see something a minute. Let's look at the render again. Yeah. Well, it's actually not looking too bad. We may not have to do that. But let's go ahead and try it and see how it looks. Because on my, the one I originally did, I did set up some light groups for it. And what that does is that, well, let me show you. Let's take this light, this inside light, and just with it selected, hit Control G, and over here in your Tools panel, it says Group. So we just added this to a group, okay? And we can change the name of this group, and we're going to change this to Glass Lamp. And so this is the lamp inside the glass that illuminates the glass. It'll also illuminate the lava itself. And if you go over here to the object data panel, you can also see you can add it to a group this way too, where it says groups. with it selected, you can just hit add to group, and you can add to multiple groups. And the reason for the lighting group is so we can make certain lights exclusive to only, that way this light only affects this material of the glass, or only affects the lava, and it won't affect anything else. We can assign it to only affect certain things by making a group out of it. And we can assign all the rest of these lamps. And let's do that right now. We'll just box select these real quick. And we'll assign these to another group, so Control G. And we'll call this area. Let's just call it area. It'll, because these will light up the entire scene, the rest of the scene. So we really need the two groups. So now you can see this is over here added to this area. Okay, now what we do now is when we set up our materials, like let's select this base for instance. When we select the base and go to the material, and remember the base and the top share the same material. So if I change it, it's called body. So if I change the anything in here, it'll affect both of them. So we go down here to where it says options, and where you see light group, and we select area, because we want the area lamps, these lamps up here, that's part of the area group, to affect the, we want that to affect these, the body, the base and the top. And we also want to, the area to affect the plane in the background, the backdrop. So select that backdrop as well, and then add that to the area. Okay, now we want to select the glass, and we want to select glass lamp for that, and we're going to click exclusive on this one. That one needs to be exclusive. Okay, and now let's see here. Oh, we don't have our metaballs in there yet to assign materials yet, so that these are the only three materials we've got. We've got our body of our lamp, we've got our glass, and then we've got the backdrop. And all three of those we have assigned the lighting to those right now. So now I'm going to hit F11 again and go back to the previous image we rendered. And just to show you, if you don't already know this, see where it says slot 1 down here? If you click on this and you click on and change the slot, it gives you an empty slot to re-render another image. And then what you can do is you can compare your first image with the second image that you rendered. So if you make changes, you can compare the changes, and if you don't like what you changed, you can always go back. So let's go ahead and re-render the scene, and I will pause it, and we'll come back to that and see what it looks like with the new lighting setup, with the now that we assigned exclusive lights. Okay, here's our second render. Now let's go back and compare it to the first. Okay, we've seen it drop down a little, and that's because we moved the plane up. So this is the first render we did, which is floating. Now, one thing I noticed is, let's go back to that, the updated version. The light got a little brighter right through here, but that's mainly because we turned the distance up, which it appears we need to turn it up even more because it's still not reaching the top. I would have thought it would have, but at least we're on the ground now. It didn't seem to affect anything else too much, and I realized why. One of the things I forgot to do, and the reason why this light inside was not affecting this outside anyway, is because I never set the base and top materials to receive transparent. And what that means is, here, let me show you. With the base selected and the body material, under shadow down here, if you check receive transparent, if you read what that says there, it says, allow this object to receive transparent shadows cast through other objects. And what that means is the light inside is, if you don't have this on, then this base material will not receive any light that passes through a transparent material. So it won't cast shadows or any other information onto this. So that light that's inside, that's shining through the glass, it doesn't have receive transparent on, it will be affected by that light. So in effect, I inadvertently set up a light group and made it exclusive without even knowing it. I didn't even realize what I was doing it. So it had the same effect as if what I did is by putting this in a light group of their own. So I guess that's another way to do it. But hopefully that wasn't too confusing. I might be confusing you there. You'll notice when you work with transparent materials, and maybe I'll make a short quick tip tutorial on it to demonstrate receive transparent and why you have to add on, how that affects materials. But it's probably a bit much and a bit confusing to try to do that now. So I'll just try to clear that up in another tutorial. I think that about does it for the lighting. So now all we have to do is set up our metaballs and start making lava and animating it, and then we got some compositing to do and we should be finished. Okay, well, I think that'll end this segment, and in the next part we will cover the metaballs.